On this 2019 to 2024 Ram 1500 Classic with the 3.6 Pentastar, P0016 is a crankshaft to camshaft timing alignment fault for Bank 1 Sensor 1. In plain language, the PCM is seeing the cam timing and crank timing out of sync beyond what it expects. The MIL may be on, and if the truck has stop/start, that system can be disabled while the code is active. The vehicle may run normally, or it may have symptoms tied to cam facer control. Broadly, think about oil condition and oil pressure, VVT control, the oil control valve and solenoid, cam facer movement, tone wheel alignment, timing chain hardware, and PCM control. A missing or erratic cam or crank sensor signal does not cause this misalignment fault by itself, so do not turn this into a cam or crank sensor replacement unless another fault path proves it. Treat the enabling conditions as monitor gates. Battery voltage above 11.0 volts, engine speed between approximately 500–6,000 RPM depending on PCM calibration, engine coolant temperature above 10 degrees C, 50 degrees F. Engine oil temperature is above between 5 degrees C, 41 degrees F and 10 degrees C, 50 degrees F, depending on PCM calibration. And the camshaft has been driven to lock pin for approximately 3–4 seconds or more. The setting logic is the important part. The difference between the Bank 1 exhaust camshaft position and the crankshaft position is more than 10.0 degrees. Start with the basic system checks and handle any applicable bulletins or case information before digging in. Turn the ignition on, read and record the codes and save the captured operating data. Clear the codes, start the engine and let it idle. If needed, road test it long enough for cam phasing to occur and for the fault to reset. Then read codes again. If P0016 is active or pending, continue. If it is not active or pending, treat it as an intermittent condition and do not guess at parts. Before testing the cam timing system directly, look at the codes you recorded. If cam sensor signal faults are present, diagnose those first before continuing with this P0016 path. Then look for active or pending VVT solenoid circuit open or slow response faults. If those are present, follow that applicable fault path first. If they are not present, move into oil and mechanical checks. Before going farther, check the oil and the basic mechanical side carefully. Look for mechanical tolerances out of specification, oil pressure out of specification, low oil level, an incorrect oil filter that does not meet OEM specifications, dirty or deteriorated oil, contaminated oil, incorrect oil viscosity, and aerated oil. Skipping this check can lead you straight into a misdiagnosis. If any of these conditions are present, repair the oiling or mechanical problem, such as improper oil drain back, oil sludge, a damaged oil pump, pickup tube, or seal, and then verify the repair. If those checks pass, measure oil pressure with the proper oil filter cap adapter and a gauge or monitor oil pressure on the scan tool if the adapter is not available. Start the engine, let it idle, and confirm the pressure is stable and above 14.0 psi. If oil pressure is below 14 psi or oscillating excessively, it can delay cam facer movement enough to set a slow response or cam/crank misalignment fault. If the reading is not stable and above 14.0 psi, repair the oiling or mechanical condition and verify the repair. Now verify the active condition by watching cam facer position. Start the engine and let it idle. On the scan tool, compare exhaust cam 1 actual position to exhaust cam 1 desired position. Compare them at idle, then at several different engine speeds. Raise engine speed quickly and hold it steady for up to 30 seconds. Then lower engine speed and hold it steady above idle, off the lock pin, for up to 30 seconds. Repeat that several times. Then let the engine return to idle while watching whether the actual position returns to lock pin. You are looking for three things: the facer not returning to lock pin at idle, actual position moving slowly compared to desired, or actual position lagging and then overshooting desired. If actual and desired differ by more than 10.0 degrees at idle, go into the electrical versus mechanical split. If actual position lags or overshoots during speed changes, treat that as a binding or sticking condition and go to the oil control valve and solenoid checks. If neither condition is present, move ahead to tone, wheel, and timing checks. Keep in mind that a slow response fault can take approximately 30 seconds to fail, while this misalignment fault generally fails within 5–10 seconds. If the idle difference is more than 0 degrees, leave the engine idling and disconnect the camshaft 1/2 position solenoid connector. With the solenoid disconnected, exhaust cam 1 actual position should change to lock pin. The exhaust cam position should be at approximately 117.0 degrees at lock pin. If the value changes to lock pin, check the K276 VVT exhaust control 1/2 circuit for a short to voltage. If that circuit is not shorted to voltage, PCM replacement is the supported result, followed by repair verification. If the cam value does not change to lock pin with the solenoid disconnected, continue to the oil control valve check. With the ignition off, remove the camshaft 1/2 position solenoid and inspect the spring-loaded spool valve on the oil control valve. At rest, the spool valve should be flush with the surface of the oil control valve. Push and release it against the return spring with a small punch. It needs to move freely without dragging or sticking. Debris or a small metal chip can sometimes lodge in the oil control valve, stick the spool, and then dislodge later, leaving an intermittent cam/crank misalignment condition. If the spool valve is not flush or does not move freely, replace the camshaft 1/2 oil control valve, perform the cam/crank relearn procedure, and verify the repair. If the oil control valve passes, keep the solenoid removed, reconnect its harness connector, turn the ignition on, and use the scan tool to actuate the camshaft 1/2 position solenoid on and off several times. If the solenoid binds or sticks during actuation, replace the camshaft 1/2 position solenoid, perform the cam/crank relearn procedure, and verify the repair. If it moves freely, swap that solenoid with the camshaft 2/2 position solenoid. Do not interchange intake and exhaust solenoids. Reconnect the harnesses, clear codes, and road test under the same conditions that set the fault. If P0016 moves with the solenoid, replace the faulty camshaft 1/2 position solenoid, perform the cam/crank relearn procedure, and verify the repair. If the fault stays with the original camshaft, continue to tone wheel inspection. Next, turn the ignition off, remove the cylinder head cover, and inspect the camshaft sensor tone wheel for looseness or damage. Check CMP sensor tone wheel alignment using check tool, tone wheel right 2,027,900,2090. If the tone wheel has an issue, replace the camshaft assembly, perform the cam/crank relearn procedure, and verify the repair. If the tone wheel checks good, verify timing chain and gear alignment, and inspect the timing chain tensioner and guide for faulty or broken components. If timing alignment or timing hardware has a problem, make the appropriate repair and perform the cam/crank relearn procedure. If no timing alignment or component issue is found, replace the cam facer assembly, perform the cam/crank relearn procedure, and then verify the repair. Keep verification separate from testing. Anytime this path calls for a repair, clear the code, perform the required cam/crank relearn procedure when called for, run the vehicle under the same conditions, and confirm P0016 stays gone. The takeaway is simple. Prove the fault is active, rule out related signal and VVT faults, verify oil and mechanical health, compare desired versus actual cam position. Then split the problem between control, sticking hardware, tone wheel alignment, timing hardware, and the facer. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.